Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of our amazing guests joining us from across the world. My name is Christina and I'm from Nigeria. I'm very honored to be your MC today.
And I am Yane from Cambodia, also your host for the day. And with this, we welcome you to Hear Girls Now, Global Girl-led dialogue prioritizing girl rights and emerging issue, an online parallel event at CSW69.
Before we begin, I would like us to take a moment to reflect on our journey so far. Here is a short video showcasing last year's International Day of the Girl Child celebration.
Someone want to say something?
Men have equal rights and opportunities. They can take care of themselves and their families.
Please tell me how does the world grow when half of it is held back?
సమాన హక్కులు ఉండాలి లింగ సమానత్వం అంటే కేవలం హక్కులు మాత్రమే కాదు.
When everyone has the access to education, healthcare, and employment opportunities, people's standard of living will be improved.
Gender mainstreaming and legal reforms can be employed to curb gender inequalities.
And we would like girls to have a voice, to be empowered.
Respect girls, stop abusing them, stop bullying them, and give them equal rights.
I want to see girls and women valued.
Why should we be the ones to cover our faces in fear?
I was told my voice does not matter. I strongly refused. I am the future, bright and bold.
మనమందరం కలిసి బాలికల హక్కుల కోసం నిలబడదాం.
Equality is not a favor, it is justice, it is strength.
No more limits, no more fear. Boys and girls, we stand right here.
To have the rights to make a great future.
The future belongs only those who believe in the beauty of their dreams.
For equality, for justice, for rights, all our rights.
Girls' voices matter. Our action creates change. Together we stand for gender equality.
What an inspiring glimpse into the powers of voices and leadership.
Yes, indeed. This year marks the 30th anniversary of the BG Declaration and Platform for Action, a landmark commitment to gender equality. However, adolescent girls across the world continue to face immense challenges from lack of education to gender based violence and economic inequality.
Global Girls Glow is thrilled to host this girl-led dialogue to amplify the voices of adolescent girls in shaping the futures. And to begin our event, we are delighted to invite Miss Crystal Spring to deliver the opening remarks. Crystal is a dedicated advocate for girls and women, serving as an executive director of Global Girls Glow, where she leads strategic direction and implementation. With over 16 years of experiences in mission-driven organization, she brings a strong background in social work and extensive experience working with youth, including 12 years of direct service and program development.
Thank you so much, Yane. I'm so happy to be here. So excited to be kicking off this incredible event. My name is Crystal. Hello, everybody. I'm the executive director here at Global Glow. Just like Yane said, I am going to keep my remarks very short because I know the reason that we are all here is to listen to girls, and I am not one. But I do want to just give a little blurb about Global Glow, so everyone knows this, the incredible organization that I'm a part of, that all the girls you're going to hear from today are a part of. So a quick word about Global Glow. We mentor girls around the world, like the ones you're going to hear from today, to become powerful advocates and confident leaders. I hope that you'll leave today knowing in every piece of your body and soul how true that is after you hear our Girl Advocacy Committee today. We fuel mentor-facilitated Glow Clubs in 30 countries around the world. We have 8 countries represented by the 8 adolescent girls today who are leading this incredible discussion. Since inception, our Glow Clubs have ignited the power of over 91,000 girls to do 3 transformative things: increase their confidence, strengthen their voice, and build their power. We sharpen girls' advocacy skills by supporting specialty summits, girl-led community advocacy projects, and engaging in UN advocacy. That's what we're doing today. And with all of those things combined, and all of the amazing advocacy work that Glow Girls do all over the world, we reach about 2 million people annually through those efforts. Our outcomes evaluations demonstrate that girls experience growth and confidence and a more positive future outlook, along with measurable progress in their own lives and in their communities. So today's discussion is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, there are 8 amazing Glow Club participants today who live across the globe and are going to lead us in some incredible discussion. We have some incredible leaders as well, tuning in from here in the US as well as around the world. And we're so excited to hear from them. We're so grateful to them for letting themselves be questioned and interviewed by our wonderful advocates, our wonderful youth, and can't wait to hear the wisdom that they will share with us today. I truly, truly hope everyone listening in today learn something and here's a perspective that they didn't know previously, and that you learn it from these incredible young women here who will lead this discussion. So without further ado, I'll turn it back over.
Thank you so much, Miss Krista, for those powerful and wonderful words. Now we'll be diving into our first session, the interregional dialogue with girl champions.
So our first session is the moderate panel discussion featuring 4 remarkable girl champions from different regions. These young leaders will share their insight, life experiences, and recommendations for the Beijing Clear platform of action.
To guide this conversation, we are pleased and honored to introduce our beautiful, talented moderator, Priyanka from the Girl Advocacy Committee. She is passionate about striking equality and encouraging young girls to speak up for their voices and also express their opinions. Over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you so much. I am honored to moderate this critical discussion. Today's panel features inspiring young advocates leading the charge on gender equality and girls' health. Our first panelist, Annabelle, is from Ghana. She is with CEINODE and passionate about girls' education and also girls' rights to ensure gender equality. Our second panelist, Mariam, is from West Africa. She is a youth champion at Education and English for You. Mariam is passionate about defending girls' education through the fight against school pregnancies and early marriages. Our third panelist, Shayla, is from Uganda, See Them Grow Foundation. She is passionate about advocating for girls to complete their education and become successful women in the future. Our final panelist, Swati, is from India. She is a girl champion at Views, which stands for Voluntary Integration for Education and Welfare of Society. Swati is passionate about creating a world where all children, regardless of gender, have access to quality education and opportunities. We'll have
Priyanka, you're on mute. Sorry to interrupt you. You're on mute.
Sorry. My first question for the panel is, 30 years after the Beijing Platform for Action, what are the most pressing issues affecting girls in your region, and how can we ensure they are prioritized in policy making? I request Annabelle to share her response first. Annabelle, over to you.
Thank you, Priyanka. It's been 30 years, Since the Beijing Platform for Action, while progress has been made, girls today face new challenges. One of the most urgent is threats to sexual and reproductive rights. Many girls still lack access to accurate sexual health and education and essential health care. In some places, talking about sexual health is a taboo, and restrictive policies limit girls' choices. We need comprehensive sexuality education and stigma-free access to reproductive health care. Another critical issue is digital access and safety. The internet is a powerful tool for learning and advocacy. Yet, many girls still face cyberbullying, online harassment, and misinformation. At the same time, those in rural areas lack access to strong and digital safety policies to ensure equal access to technology. Finally, girls must be included in decision making. Policymakers should not just discuss issues of girls. They must listen to their voices. The government and organizations must create youth councils and leadership platforms where girls' voices can be shared. The Beijing Platform for Action was a promise for gender equality. To truly fulfill this, we must prioritize sexual and reproductive rights, digital safety, and girls' leadership in global forums. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Annabelle. I completely agree with you that a renewed focus on these key areas, sexual and reproductive rights, digital safety, and girls' leadership, is essential to truly driving change. Mariam, what are your thoughts?
Priyanka, the Beijing Platform for Action remind us of the commitments made to address gender equality. Yet in my region, one of the most pressing emerging issues is girl right to education. It's heartbreaking to see young girls who should be in school working with student food on their head or standing on the roadside selling items. Instead of learning, they are forced into child labor to support their families. This issue is especially common among girls from immigrant families, making them more vulnerable to poverty and exploitation. Governments, embassies, and international organizations must work together to create a policy that ensures all girls, regardless of their background, have access and free and quality education. To prioritize these issues in policy making, we need stronger enforcement of laws that guarantee free and compulsory education for girls. At the same time, we must address root causes such as poverty provided by financial assistance and school meals to ensure that girls stay in school. Raising awareness among parents and community about the long-term benefits of education girls is also essential. If we truly want to uphold the promises of Beijing Transformation Action, girl education must be treated as a fundamental right, not a privilege. It's time to move beyond discussion and to take concrete action to ensure that no girl is left behind. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mariam. I couldn't agree more. Investing in girls' education is not just a moral necessity, it's the smartest investment we can make in a more equitable and prosperous future. Now, let's hear from you, Shayla.
Thank you, Priyanka. In Uganda, the biggest in Uganda, girls of my age face big challenges: teenage pregnancies, weak implementation of laws protecting girls, lack of education, menstrual health, and hygiene barriers. COVID-19 made things worse, increasing teenage pregnancies and early marriage. Even though there are laws that protect girls from violence, they are not always enforced and harmful practices continue. Many girls, especially in rural areas, don't have internet, making it hard to compete in today's world. On top of that, menstrual stigma and lack of sanitary pads force many girls to miss school or even drop out. We need real action. Governments must enforce laws that protect girls from violence, increase investments in education, economic empowerment, and health. be accountable, and regularly track progress on Beijing Plus 30 commitments and their promises. Address the digital divide, ensure affordable internet and digital literacy programs for rural girls. Free education should be priorities. Menstrual health should be taken seriously. Free sanitary products in school can make a huge difference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shayla. Your points are incredibly powerful and illustrate the urgent need for a holistic approach to supporting girls in Uganda and similar contexts. Swati, I am eager to hear from your points.
धन्यवाद प्रियंका आम बेजिंग प्लस 30 प्लाटफॉर्म फॉर एक्शन को पालन करुवा समय सारे विश्व रे झियो माने गुरुत्वपूर्ण चैलेंज रा सम्मुखीन हेउछंती लिंग भित्तिक हिंसा चालन एवं बाल्य विवाह अनेकଙ୍କୁ शिक्षा एवं सुजोगर वंचित करूछि आर्थिक प्रतिबंधक सांस्कृतिक मानदंड एवं डिजिटल विभाजन शिक्षार अभिगम्यता को सीमित करूछि विशेषकर स्टेम एवं वृत्तिगत क्षेत्र में जहाँ ग्रामीण झियो माननकु सबुठार अधिक प्रभावित करिथाय प्रजनन स्वास्थ्य शिक्षा एवं सेवार अभाव प्रारंभिक गर्भधारण एवं स्वास्थ्य जटिलतार विपद वृद्धि करे यह सहित ऑनलाइन उत्पीड़न एवं प्रतिबंधित डिजिटल अभिज्ञता लिंगगत असमानता को वृद्धि करे ए समस्या गुड़िकर समाधान पाई आमको दृढ़ आईनगत सुरक्षा लागू करने को पड़िबो शिक्षा रे विनियोग करने को पड़िबो स्वास्थ्य सेवा विस्तार करने को पड़िबो निष्पत्ति ग्रहण रे झियो मानकर अंशग्रहण निश्चित करने को पड़िबो एवं डिजिटल विभाजन को बंद करने को पड़िबो धन्यवाद
As we mark the Beijing Plus 30 platform for action, girls worldwide continue to face critical challenges. Gender based violence, trafficking, and child marriage deprive many of education and opportunities. Economic barriers, cultural norms, and the digital divide limit access to education, especially in STEM and vocational fields, with rural girls most affected. Lack of reproductive health education and services increases risks of early pregnancies and health complications. Additionally, online harassment and restricted digital access widens gender inequalities. To address these issues, we must enforce strong legal protections, invest in education, expand healthcare, ensure girls' participation in decision making, and close the digital divide. Thank you, Priyanka.
Thank you so much, Swati. You've painted a clear picture of the interconnected challenges girls face, and it's clear that a multi-pronged approach is crucial. We need not only stronger laws and policies, but also a shift in societal attitudes and investment in girls' education across all these crucial areas. Now, moving on to my next question. How can we help girls become leaders and make their voices heard, focusing on what they need to learn and how they can shape their future? Each of you will again get 2 minutes to respond, starting with Swati this time.
थैंक यू प्रियंका झियो माननको परिवर्तनर प्रतिनिधि भाବରେ सशक्त କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଏକ ବ୍ୟାପକ ଆଭିମୁଖ୍ୟ ଆବଶ୍ୟକ ଯାହା ଝିଅ ମାନଙ୍କ ଆତ୍ମବିଶ୍ୱାସ ସୃଷ୍ଟି କରେ ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ଅତ୍ୟାବଶ୍ୟକୀୟ ଦକ୍ଷତା ସହିତ ସଜ୍ଜିତ କରେ ଏବଂ ସେମାନଙ୍କର ସ୍ୱରକୁ ବୃଦ୍ଧି କରେ ଶିକ୍ଷା ଏବଂ ତାଲିମ ଦ୍ୱାରା ସାଧାରଣ ଭାଷଣ ଆଲୋଚନା ଏବଂ ଝିଅ ମାନଙ୍କୁ ନିଷ୍ପତ୍ତି ଗ୍ରହଣକୁ ପ୍ରଭାବିତ କରିବାରେ ସାହାଯ୍ୟ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ତୃଣମୂଳ ସ୍ତରରେ ସଂଗଠନ ଶିକ୍ଷାଇ ନେତୃତ୍ୱ ଏବଂ ସମର୍ଥନ ଉପରେ ଗୁରୁତ୍ୱ ଆରୋପ କରାଯିବା ଉଚିତ ସମାଲୋଚନାମୂଳକ ଚିନ୍ତାଧାରା ଏବଂ ସମସ୍ୟା ସମାଧାନକୁ ଉତ୍ସାହିତ କରିବା ଦ୍ୱାରା ସେମାନେ ସମ୍ପ୍ରଦାୟ ଚ୍ୟାଲେଞ୍ଜର ଅଭିନବ ସମାଧାନ ବିକଶିତ କରିପାରିବେ ଝିଅମାନଙ୍କୁ ସୁରକ୍ଷା ଦେଉଥିବା ଆଇନ ବିଷୟରେ ସୂଚନା ଦେବା ପାଇଁ ଆଇନଗତ ଏବଂ ମାନବାଧିକାର ଶିକ୍ଷା ଗୁରୁତ୍ୱପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ଯାହା ସେମାନଙ୍କର ପ୍ରଭାବଶାଳୀ ଭାବରେ ଓକିଲାତି କରିବାକୁ ଅନୁମତି ଦିଏ आर्थिक साक्षरता एवं उद्योगिता दक्षता आर्थिक स्वाधीनता को प्रोत्साहित करिबो झियो माननको सेमानଙ୍କ भविष्यତରେ विनियोग करिबारे साहाय्य करिबो ଏହା ସହିତ डिजिटल एवं मीडिया साक्षरता निश्चित करिबो जे ସେମାନେ ସେମାନଙ୍କର ସ୍ୱର ଏବଂ ସମର୍ଥନ ପ୍ରୟାସକୁ ବୃଦ୍ଧି କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଦାୟିତ୍ୱପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ଭାବରେ ପ୍ରଯୁକ୍ତି ବିଦ୍ୟା ବ୍ୟବହାର କରନ୍ତି। ପରାମର୍ଶ ଏବଂ ନେଟୱାର୍କିଂ ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ ଝିଅମାନଙ୍କର ମହିଳା ନେତାଙ୍କ ସହିତ ସଂଯୋଗ କରିବା ମାର୍ଗଦର୍ଶନ, ପ୍ରେରଣା ଏବଂ ନିଷ୍ପତ୍ତି ନେବାର ସୁଯୋଗ ପ୍ରଦାନ କରିବ। ଶିକ୍ଷାରେ ଏହି ଦକ୍ଷତା ଗୁଡ଼ିକୁ ସମନ୍ୱିତ କରି ଝିଅମାନେ କେବଳ ସେମାନଙ୍କ ଅଧିକାର ବିଷୟରେ ଆଲୋଚନାରେ ଅଂଶଗ୍ରହଣ କରିବେ ନାହିଁ, ବରଂ ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ନେତୃତ୍ୱ ଦେବେ, ସେମାନଙ୍କ ସମ୍ପ୍ରଦାୟର ଅର୍ଥପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ ଆଣିବେ। ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ।
Empowering girls as change agents requires a holistic approach that builds confidence, equips them with essential skills, and amplifies their voices. Education and training should emphasize leadership and advocacy by teaching public speaking, negotiation, and grassroots organizing to help girls influence decision making. Encouraging critical thinking and problem solving will enable them to develop innovative solutions to community challenges. Legal and human rights education is crucial in informing girls about the laws that protect them, allowing them to advocate effectively. Financial literacy and entrepreneurship skills will promote economic independence, helping girls invest in their futures. Additionally, digital and media literacy will ensure they use technology responsibly to amplify their voices and advocacy efforts. Connecting girls with female leaders through mentorship and networking will provide guidance, inspiration, and decision making opportunities. By integrating these skills into education, girls will not only participate in decisions about their rights but lead them, driving meaningful change in their communities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Swati. Empowering girls means equipping them with a wide range of skills and amplifying their voices. Sheila, let's hear from your perspective.
Thank you, Priyanka. As girls, we need the right tools, support, and opportunities to stand up for ourselves and our communities. Learning business skills can help us become financially independent. And peer support groups allow us to protect and educate each other on our rights, health, and self-defense. It's also important to have boys as allies so they can help challenge unfair traditions like child marriage. To amplify girls' voices, we should have more space to share our stories with leaders and use media to make our stories. Leadership training, debate clubs, and mentorship programs will help build confidence and advocacy skills. Prioritizing leadership, digital literacy, financial skills, and empowerment, and comprehensive health education ensure girls to navigate all challenges. When girls are empowered and educated, we can create real change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sheila. It's clear that girls need practical skills, stronger support networks, and platforms to amplify their voices to truly drive change. Mariam, let's explore your views.
Thank you, Priyanka. Empower girls as leaders. We must break stereotypes that limit them and ensure they have equal opportunities in all areas of life. Girls need leadership training, skills in public speaking, decision making, and negotiation to advocate for themselves and others. Inclusion in decision making, youth advisory council, mentorship, and real influence affecting them. Inclusion in decision making, education on rights and advocacy, knowledge of legal rights and training in activity and civic engagement, inclusion in decision making, youth advisory councils, mentorship, and real influence in policies affecting them, access to diverse careers, encouragement STEM, politics, business, and leadership role. Most importantly, we must celebrate young female leaders so more girls are inspired to step up. When girls lead, community pride. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mariam. So, breaking down stereotypes, providing leadership training, ensuring access to diverse opportunities, and celebrating young female leaders are key to empowering girls. And finally, let's hear from you, Annabelle.
Thank you once again. Girls are not just the future, they are the present. When girls are given right tools and opportunities, they become powerful change makers. To truly empower girls, we must build their confidence and leadership through public speaking, advocacy, and decision making skills. They also need education on their rights. Many girls do not know their legal protection for education, safety, and participation. Schools and communities must equip girls to recognize injustice and fight for action. Girls must be included in decision-making spaces, from youth councils to global forums, ensuring that their voices are shaped in policies. Economic empowerment through advocacy, financial literacy, and vocational training will also help them to gain their independence. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Annabelle. Girls are now powerful agents of change now, and we must equip them with the right tools and platforms to lead. Thank you to all panelists. Empowering girls demands addressing immediate needs, building leadership skills, and most importantly, representation matters. When girls see young women leading, they believe they can do it too. It's about ensuring they are heard, respected, and leading change. The Beijing Plus 30 framework is vital, but action is key to unlocking every girl's potential. Let's continue this conversation forward and turn our shared vision into reality. Thank you so much.
What an incredible discussion. Thank you to our panelists for sharing their invaluable insight. And also Bianca, since we're running a little over time and we have excited poll and panel coming up next, we will be moving to our next section and we will skip the live Q&A. However, please feel free to drop your question in the chat and we will be sure to revert over your email.
Now, we're moving on to our final section.
As we transition to our next session, we invite you to participate in a quick online poll to share your perspective on the most pressing issue affecting adolescent girls today.
We are going to be using Zoom's future polling features. So I would like for everyone to have their eyes on their screen. Are you all seeing the quiz on the screen?
Yes.
As we are seeing the quiz on the screen, we are going to be we have three key questions, each focusing on different themes, and everyone is allowed to select the answer that best suits their options, the question that is asked. And after everyone is done picking or selecting the answer that best suits their opinion, we'll review the results after the poll.
Okay, so our first question is, what is the most effective way to ensure girl voices are heard in policy making? And you will see 4 options: young council, legal protections, education and leadership training, and media representation. Please select the option that you feel the most impactful.
And our second question is, given the rapid global change in the last 5 years, especially for girls, which issue demands immediate top priority? Is number one, is it digital divide, access and safety, climate change impact, displacement, resource scarcity, gender-based violence online and offline, access to quality education, access to quality education including STEM, mental health support, that's trauma, societal pressures, economic empowerment, job opportunities, and job opportunities, financial illiteracy, or is it bodily autonomy and reproductive rights?
And
You're allowed
yes.
sorry. You're allowed to pick any answer that best suits your opinion.
So our last question is about your personal commitment. After today's discussion, how likely you are to take action in your community for girl rights. So you will see a rating scale. Please select the option that best reflect your intention to take the action. 10 is the highest and 0 are the lowest.
Please, I would love for everybody to start voting, to start picking, selecting their options. Is everyone participating?
Yes, everyone is participating.
Okay.
So, Christiana, I'm ending the poll now so that you can share the results. Okay.
Okay. Wow. I'm going to start sharing the results now. For our first question, the highest goes to investing in education and leadership training, coming up with 78%. Wow. Let's give it an applause for that. Thank you all for participating. The next question, for the second question. For the second question, the highest is, sorry, excuse me, 63% access to quality education, including STEM. Thank you all that participated. This is very encouraging to see that people are participating and they're picking their opinion. They're having their opinion. Sorry. Number three, I'm not seeing any score here. I'm not seeing anybody picking anything for question three.
Maybe you can scroll to see in your window. People have voted. Are you able to see? Or I can read it for you.
No.
So let me read it for you. 60% of people have chosen 10, and 15% have chosen 9, 15 have chosen 8, 5% have chosen 7, and 5% have chosen 6. So majority, 60% have said 10 out of 10.
Thank you all for picking 10 out of 10. Thank you all for participating. So after now, we are going to be sharing the results from the pool with our expert panelists. And for this section, I would love to be inviting the amazing Dorcas, the amazing Dorcas from the Girl Advocacy Committee. Dorcas, the floor is yours.
Ina gaishe ku duka, meaning greetings to you all in Hausa language, Northern Nigeria. My name is Dorcas and I am from Nigeria. I am passionate about advocating for girls' right to free and quality education and women's participation in leadership, empowering them to break barriers and foster a more equitable society. I am honored to be moderating this closing session. First, I want to extend a warm welcome to our panelists and everyone present today. We have an expert panel today comprising of leaders, mentors, and change agents dedicated to empowering girls and advancing gender equality. First, I would like to start with introducing our first panelist, Ms. Kate Kiyama. She's the co-CEO at She's the First, an international NGO dedicated to girls' empowerment and education. A trained advocate of the High Court of Kenya, she leverages her legal expertise to address social injustice affecting women and girls. Her experience includes grant management at the Nike Foundation, program leadership at Akili Dada, and board service at Make Every Woman Count. Our second panelist is Ms. Jess Weiner. She's a cultural expert and a change architect. As CEO of Talk to Jess, a trusted advisor to global brands, driving meaningful social transformation. Jess is renowned for shaping cultural trends, demonstrated by a pivotal role in campaigns like those campaign for Real Beauty and Mattel's invention of Barbie. Recognized by publications like Inc. and Fast Company for her innovative work in diversity and in education. Jess is also a sought-after speaker, facilitating impactful conversation on global stages. She's also the founder of Actionist Network, a community dedicated to creating a more compassionate world. Our third panelist is Ms. Rashmi Rao, Managing Director, R-Cube Ventures, founder, HLWF Alliance, a seasoned tech leader with experience at Apple, Qualcomm, and Samsung. She has a track record of scaling companies, managing large P&Ls and driving new business. She has great expertise in healthcare and health tech and is recognized as a top 100 health tech women leader. She also served on the board of the World Affairs Council, the Finance Committee, and also the advisory board at the University of Washington. Our fourth and fifth panelists are respected government officials from Zambia. We have Ms. Carol from the Department of Community Development and Ms. Enles from the Ministry of General Education. We deeply appreciate their presence. and the valuable insight they bring to this discussion. We are honored to have them share their insight with us. Thank you to all panelists for your dedication to empowering girls in your communities. Let's get started. My first question is to Ms. Carol. How do community development programs integrate girls' voices in decision-making process? And what are the biggest challenges in ensuring their participation?
So Dorcas, Miss Carol has not been able to join. So maybe you can move ahead and you can ask your next question.
All right, thank you, ma'am. So my next question is for Ms. NLS. How is the education system adapting to equip girls with future-ready skills, including digital literacy and leadership opportunities, to help them navigate an evolving world? Ms. NLS?
Thank you so much. Are you getting me?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you now.
All right. So to repeat your question, you're saying how is the education system adapting to equip girls with future-ready skills, including digital literacy and leadership opportunities to help them navigate an evolving world, isn't it?
Exactly, ma'am.
All right, so to respond to this question, firstly, I would like to briefly say that education is a tool used to protect girls' rights. Therefore, there is need to equip girls with efficient and capable education system that can easily be converted into skills. But now the question is, how? From my little experience, education system, from my little experience, the education system adapting to equip girls with future-ready skills is by offering subjects that will help them acquire the skill we are talking about. So in schools, we have introduced subjects like ICT, business studies, commerce, etc. These subjects help girls. Before I proceed in the way that these subjects have helped girls equip their skills, I would say before then, girls and boys never used to have an equal opportunity to acquire these skills because it was believed that girls should stay back home, do the cooking, do the chores, and maybe even do the babysitting. But now, with the introduction of free education, every girl child is expected to be in school. And now that they are expected to be in school, there is need for schools to offer the subjects that I talked about earlier, because this is the only way the girl child can acquire the skills that is needed in order for them to navigate in this evolving world. A girl child are now able to go to school and acquire the needed skills that would make them, one, relevant in today's technology. Through the same computer studies that they talked about, they learn how to use the computer and the computer program, which can utilize practically, which can enable the child to work and establish their own business. What I'm trying to say here is this: once a girl child acquires this knowledge that is needed for them to navigate around this evolving world, it can enable them to establish their own business. Okay, without this, it's practically impossible for them to establish their own business, one, or even to be employed anywhere in any organization without the skill. Furthermore, such skills are a basic necessity in that to communicate and function in their academia, corporate, and socially, one needs the skill. The education system is now inclusive. A girl child is given the same opportunity as a boy child, like I earlier said. A girl child is given hands-on skill and are equipped with leadership skills in order to fulfill her potential. So without a skill, it's impossible for a girl child to realize their potential. Okay, without a skill, it's impossible for a girl child to realize, or rather to know what they can do. It's impossible without that skill. You can be gifted, but without a skill, it's impossible for you to know that you are gifted. Are we together? So when girls learn business studies, the subjects I talked about, if the girl child is able to learn business studies, commerce, or ICT in their schools, they can become entrepreneurs, like I said. Okay, they can become entrepreneurs, or better still, improve their families in one way or another. Because without this skill, it's impossible for a family to improve. Because obviously, without a skill, you remain stagnant. So, I'll give an example in a rural area. In terms of girls in rural areas, when they learn different skills from school, their status obviously changes in their community. The way people look at you when you are skilled, it's different from the way they look at girls that are not skilled. So, of course, their status in the community changes, and then the community obviously go to them for consultation in case there's anything that they need to have knowledge about. It's these girls that are skilled that will give out that information. But without a skill, it's impossible for the community to go to a girl child to seek for knowledge. So this helps them build their leadership qualities. Okay, and they are given more opportunities. E.g., when the high-profile people visit their community, it is usually these girls that they first interact with. Okay, if you're in a community, in a village setup, for example, it's girls that are fully equipped get excited when they see the high profile people visit them, because they know if I run to them, whatever it is that they'll ask me, I'll be able to give them the information that they need. But without that skill, of course, you'd look down upon yourself, because you feel even when I'm asked, it's impossible for me to give out the information that you need. Why? Because I don't have the knowledge. So you have low self-esteem. But if you are knowledgeable, obviously, anywhere a high-profile person is, whenever they ask anything, they'll definitely say, "Oh, there's a girl somewhere who can give you this information." So you have you have that opportunity to interact with the high-profile people in the society. So, in conclusion, I would like to say girls are equally given an opportunity to have hands-on experience with digital equipment and knowledge, hence increasing efficiency as she gets ready for the next life. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. That was very insightful. I agree with you when you say all girls need to go to school, because there's a saying that says when you educate a boy, you educate a nation. So the purpose of this session is to reflect on challenges girls face globally and explore practical solutions to address them. And then each panelist is having 2.5 minutes to respond to each question. So now moving on to my next question from Miss Kate. What emerging trends or challenges do you see shaping the future for girls' rights, and how can stakeholders prepare to address them?
Thank you, Dorcas. And before I answer your question, I just want to applaud all the ladies who've been able to share their insights. This is definitely the highlight of my day and my week. And also for the participants who are tuning in, thank you for truly giving space to girls as well. So Dorcas, in terms of the emerging trends, I think the future of girls' rights is being shaped by several trends and challenges, both positive and negative. And we've had from the conversations, I think Annabelle and Sheila did speak, especially about shrinking the digital divide. So digital empowerment and tech access is one of the emerging trends. And we've definitely seen an increase in internet access and digital literacy programs. However, with that, and we know there are challenges with sporadic electricity, the high cost of data to be able to access. We definitely need to make sure that stakeholders, government, corporates who are providing these services provide subsidized rates, especially for girls, to encourage girls to take up initiatives like STEM. But over and above that, I think it's also really important to recognize that because of this new wave of digital empowerment, we're seeing one of the biggest challenges with online bullying or cyberbullying. So again, making sure that we have high protections for girls, because girls often and young women are usually the first ones who often face the brunt of online bullying. I think the second emerging trend that we're seeing, and again, we've had conversations from the wonderful girl experts, is legal reforms and policy advancements. We do know, especially in the global south, we have seen more countries ratifying, whether it's a Maputo Protocol or whether it's international treaties and laws, to really combat the child marriage, gender-based violence, workplace discrimination for women in the workplace. However, beyond just ratifying this documentation, we need to see implementation. And we have a problem with how we report, how long court cases take. In Kenya, for example, it's taking 199 days for a matter to be petitioned before the court and to get judgment. And this is things around gender-based violence. That time is too long. And we do know the longer the judicial process takes, the less likelihood for girls and women to be able to trust this institution. So we definitely need to make sure that there's better reforms and shorter timelines to be able to address and hold perpetrators to the highest level accountable. I think the last thing that I just want to talk about, maybe the last two, is menstrual health and reproductive rights. We've definitely seen a growing awareness and advocacy on menstrual hygiene. I believe it's Sheila who talked about in Uganda some of the challenges with period poverty and just how problematic and taboo these topics are for us to talk about. But over and above creating awareness and really recognizing that there's definitely a very, very high cost for girls and women to have access to quality products, we need to make sure that we are expanding reproductive rights and making sure access to healthcare are crucial for girls' autonomy, but also working backwards to unsocialize how we've been socialized about these topics. So removing the stigma, especially when we talk about menstruation, but also making sure, especially in countries on the continent where they still tax on pads, making sure we lobby and petition governments to remove that, because it's again very punitive for girls to be able to access. And then the last emerging trend that I definitely see is especially now with the political framework that we are living in, we do know there's a lot of clash, or there's less excitement, or maybe to say there's more backlash against gender equality and girls' rights work. And we do know that some religion, political frameworks are really, really clawing back the gains we've made. But I do think it behooves us, especially as a movement, to make sure that even if there's a sect of governments, politicians, religious cleric who are saying girls' rights are not, women's rights are not human rights, I think this is the time we need to be drumming our drum beats louder. We have to work collectively, and we have to recognize that, as I believe it's Annabelle who says, girls are not the future, we are the now. And so it's really making sure that we are creating the spaces, even if we're not being invited into those rooms, making sure we have space to be able to amplify and champion our rights. Because if we wait on the sidelines, I think the clawbacks will be very, very catastrophic, and we might not recover. So making sure that we're working together, not working in silos, really supporting our sisters in different continents, in different sectors, to make sure that girls' rights are truly at the forefront, even as we contend with more emerging issues like climate change, which again affect girls and women more disproportionately than men. It's making sure that we're truly making sure that our issues are not being the A or B on government agendas. I'll pass it over back to you, Dorcas.
I am sure all of us agree with you. That was very insightful, Miss Kate. Now moving on to the last question, and this is both for Miss Jess and Miss Rashmi. What actionable steps or policy recommendations would you suggest ensuring meaningful and sustainable development for girls' rights globally? Ms. Jess, we would like to hear you first, and then requesting Ms. Rashmi to share her insights.
Off mute. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Dorcas. Hello from Los Angeles, California, everybody.
Hi.
It's so early. That's why I've got my coffee. And I have to tell you, Miss Kate, already I wanted to cry from all of these beautiful responses. And I wanted to say I'm so grateful to be here. I love the She's the First program. I've been involved with it for almost 15 years at this point, from the beginning. So I want to say hi to Ceci and all of my beautiful She's the First people joining. And Dorcas, you're such a wonderful moderator. I can't answer the question before I just tell you what wonderful energy you're bringing to the conversation. Okay, so I have been an entrepreneur for 31 years. It is all I've ever done. From a young woman into a wiser woman, I have been working at the intersection of representation for girls in our media and marketing and advertising. So raise your hand if you've ever played or seen a Barbie doll before. If you can raise your hands. Okay. So I have had the wonderful pleasure of helping to change Barbie so that she looks like more of us, and that she looks like girls who play with her around the world. And that is because I had girls at the center of that conversation with big companies. That is because I was able to bring in Kate's co-CEO, Tammy Tibbetts from She's the First, and other girl educators to sit in the room and talk about what it is like to be a girl all over the world today. And it was girls' voices that made the change for a $6 billion company. It didn't happen before girls came into the room. So when you ask me the question, how do we help center girls at the core? It is upon us as adults who have the power and the privilege in the room to pass the mic and to share the stage and to give you the chance to raise your voices. And I do that in the private sector of business. And then I do that with my nonprofit partners as well. Oh, here comes my cat who wants to join our conversation. But I do that with programs like the Maya Impact program, right, in Guatemala, which Ceci knows very well. And I met through She's the First, and having a passion to help bring Indigenous girls' voices to government and to be able to share stories. To me, impact is the most important thing that we can do in collaboration with young people and the private and the public sector. It takes everybody to make that change. So for me, I tell my partners 3 things. Number 1, you cannot borrow from a place you don't invest in. So when we as people who want to reward a company or a business or an organization because of their position, especially right now in the world, we have to focus on their values and what they are prioritizing. And if they're prioritizing girls, we need to make our voices known to that. So we need to make sure that we're investing in the communities we wish to represent, right? The second thing is that we always have to have outside in voices. Sometimes as girls, we think that we want to see a change, but we may not have the answers as to how. That's okay. We need to just show up and keep trying to solve the problem by sharing our stories. And the third thing that I would say that's really important is that remembering all of us were smaller once and reminding people who are in positions of power that we have this awesome opportunity to make change for the next generation and to remind us to keep fighting. Look, I'm going to end on a solemn, but I hope optimistic note. And Miss Kate, you made me think of this. For 31 years, I have been working in the space of girls' education and business impact. And I'm sitting in a country right now that is not honoring any of these changes that we have been trying to make for decades. And it is very scary. And I just want to name that. And I want to say it's why I couldn't wait to get on this call this morning, to be reminded that there is more good happening in the world than not, and that together we are the answers to these problems that we are facing, and we cannot do this alone. So thank you, Dorcas, and all of you other wonderful women and girls on this call today, standing up and speaking up about this. And that is how we continue to make change and center our voices.
I love that. I love that energy, Jess. And early in the morning too. I'm calling in from Seattle, so about the same time as you as well. Honestly, this has been the highlight of my entire week, and I couldn't think of starting my Friday and my weekend with a better conversation than this. Hi, everyone. I'm Rashmi Rao, and Dorcas and Priyanka and Yane and Swati and Sheila and Christina, all of you, Miriam, all of you, Annabelle, all of you guys have been wonderful. And you should just keep doing more of this. You should not let the world snuff out this incredible spark and fire that you all have. That is the best thing that you can all do if that's the only thing that you all do. Don't let anybody say that you cannot do anything. I want to start with some statistics. I'm an engineer. I love this conversation around STEM education for women and girls, and I've spent a lifetime doing that, just by example, but also by advocacy. Every place that I've been, I've always started organizations and communities that have focused and given back in particularly educating women and girls, middle school girls and high school girls in the STEM space. And so this conversation is very much pertinent to everything that we're talking about and the change that I have seen by being in this space, by actually engaging in the space myself, my career, but also uh, the opportunities that it will give my kids and their kids and generations to come. And that is what you should think about when you're thinking about why are you having this conversation. And I want to share my grandmother. She never went to school. She never had the opportunity to go to school, but she was the most educated person that I ever know. She taught herself to speak 6 different languages, and she read so many more books than I will probably ever in my lifetime. She was an inspiration. And so she didn't need anybody's permission. She didn't need a framework. She just had self motivation to go do that. And without her doing that, without her making education a priority for her children, I know that I would not have the opportunities that I have. So when you think of why is the work that you're doing important, why is the conversation that you're having important, remember it's not just only for you, but the work that you will do will have lasting impact on this world. And just by showing up here today, you're already doing that. And just to center it around how easy it is to lose all of this, I want to give you some other perspectives as well. Because policy and advocacy is important and it's critical, and it doesn't happen overnight, but it can be taken away overnight. It's only 100 years ago that the women in the United States, the most developed country in the world, got the right to vote. Only 100 years ago. That's not too long ago. And it's only about 35, 40 years ago that women, in spite of getting the right to vote and choose their government, did not have financial freedom, did not have the right to open a bank account without their husband's permission or their dad's signature, did not have the approval to get a credit card or a loan from a bank. And so it's about that financial empowerment. And even the women in the United States got that only in 1974. That's not too long ago. That was only like 5 years before I was born. So that's in my lifetime, right? This is in my lifetime. And so it's important because the words that you say, the advocacy that you do will have an impact in your lifetime. So centering your work around getting it converted into policy and bills and changes that are permanent is very important. But it cannot stop there. You have to continue to do that advocacy. And to Jess's point, we're seeing that we can't snooze at the wheel, right? We are here because we feel passionately to continue to be advocates. It's hard fought victory, and we're not going to let that slide away. Not under our watch, not in our lifetime. And that's why you guys give so much hope and inspiration to all of us. With that, I want to also give you some statistics because it's not just the work that you do is not just for women. And if anybody is telling you that, then they don't know the facts. Women make up 51% of the world's population. 83% of all purchasing decisions around the globe, whether it's buying food at the grocery store or making decisions about which doctors that you go, the schools that you go, tiniest decisions, micro decisions to macro decisions. 83% of the decisions are made by women in households and in our communities. 91% of all caregiving, whether it's for kids or adults in communities, is done by women. And if people don't remember, let's remind them 100% of the next generation, 100% of the next generation will come from you guys, will come from all of us, comes from women. Unfortunately, men do not have the ability to give birth to the next generation. So when we are investing in women, we are investing in our world. When we are creating policies to empower women's education, we are educating our communities, we are educating our world, we're educating our countries. So when anybody tells you that this is a women's thing, this is a women's issue, please tell them these statistics. Tell them that this is not just about women or girls. This is because this is the change we want to see in our world. And by empowering girls, by empowering women, by creating policies that support them, we are actually enabling our world. And so I want you to remember this and repeat it to people that say that this is about women and this is about girls. When it comes to policies, I think all of you have already spoken at length and eloquently about everything that we should be doing. But I will highlight a few things. Education is foundational, and education has become almost free. Like if you go online, you can educate yourself about anything and everything. You don't even have to work as hard as my grandmother did to find books, to find people that would lend her books, to actually learn things. You can find it yourself, right? And so the getting the access to the internet, which is the world's largest university and nearly free information, is important. But it also comes with the risks. It also comes with those challenges. But I know that you are absolutely equipped to handle all of that. But motivate yourself, educate yourself. Don't let anybody put barriers to that. And there is so much that you can do just by getting on the internet. And so, truly, education and giving access to the digital world where the digital education exists free of cost, I think is the biggest policy change, that we should make it fundamental. Fundamental access to digital education, I think, is the one policy that I'd love to see in every part of the world. The second thing, given my work, so as was mentioned, I have a nonprofit that's focused on health, life sciences, wellness, and fitness, HLWF. And that's primarily because it's not in silos that we can have a fulfilling life. It's not just about one thing or the other thing. It's about all of these things. And so, in terms of getting access to adequate healthcare, whether it's preventing teenage pregnancies or also handling maternal health, both the physical health as well as mental health, and as well as supporting women through all phases of their lives, I think is the most important aspect. I'd love to see more done in terms of policies that enable men to play an equal role when it comes to caregiving, whether it's for their kids or whether it's for adults. And so, many men want to do this, but the way the society is structured today, a lot of the earning the dollars, earning the money ends up getting on their plates, which then uh, leaves women in their homes to take care of everything else. And so making that an equitable conversation, not just a conversation about women, but conversation about how we want to restructure our society where men can participate, are given the right or the choice to participate, I think is also important. So to me, if we can give access to education, and if we can create policies around uh, equitable caregiving, I think we can rebalance the workload, which will enable women to thrive, girls to thrive in our societies. But thank you, because you guys are inspiring us more than we can ever tell you.
Thank you so much, Miss Rashmi and Miss Jess. Your dedication to advancing girls' rights is truly inspiring. So before we conclude, I would love to extend my heartfelt thanks to all our panelists for their valuable insight and thoughtful contribution. Your dedication to advancing girls' rights is truly inspiring, and I believe that the discussions we've had today will make a significant impact on our collective efforts. I also want to thank everyone present today for your participation and commitment to this important cause. Thank you so much, Christiana.
Thank you.
As we
You
bring
were
this,
great. You were very great.
yeah. Okay, so as we bring this inspiring session to a close, we would like to intend a heartfelt thank you to our amazing panelists, speakers, and all participate for engaging today's critical conversation.
Special thanks to Global Girls Glow for creating this platform, to our panelists, to our partners and supporters for championing girls' rights globally.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
stay engaged, stay inspired, and keep advocating for change. Goodbye, everyone, and take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Appreciate.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.